Hello, Wobbly Phil here. I've been getting regular and well-deserved jip from some of you out there in YouTube land about ignoring classic Ducatis. There's a good reason why I've ignored them. Not only have I never ridden a classic Ducati, but I've barely ever seen one in real life. There's a lot of misty-eyed nostalgia around these beautiful 1970s machines, but apart from reading the emails from folk trying to persuade me to invest in them, I know nothing, nada, zilch. So this week, I thought I'd put that right. Last week's video about the Benelli Say got me in the mood for more Italian style. What's not to like about sharp suits, cool dudes, beautiful women, great food, spectacular scenery, amazing heritage, and the mafia? Fortunately, I've got a trusty guide with me on this journey, my November 1978 copy of Bike Magazine and its article on the 900SS entitled Street Racing for Real. But first we need to get up to speed with a quick recap of the Ducati marque. Antonio Ducati founded his company with his three sons Adriano, Marcello and Bruno in 1926 in Bologna, where the source comes from. They weren't making motorbikes, but radio components such as valves and condensers. Like Benelli, Ducati suffered badly during the spot of bother in the 1940s, and its factory was mullered as part of the US Army Air Force's Operation Pancake, which did exactly what it said on the tin. In the late 1940s, getting a demolished Italy moving again, and doing that cheaply, was a priority. All manner of mopeds and scooters were quickly thrown together by ingenious Italian engineers. The Lambretta scooter, with its frame allegedly constructed from surplus scaffolding poles, was a product of this out-of-the-box thinking. Ducati, on the other hand, mated with a small engine manufacturer and gave birth to a gorgeous little puppy. The Cucciolo, Italian for puppy because of the sound it made, was a 50cc moped with a top speed of 40 miles per hour. Come the 1950s, Ducati moved into the scooter scene, but with little success. By the 1960s, it had hit the racetracks with its legendary Mark I, a TT-winning 250cc single capable of 100 miles per hour plus. That brings us to the 1970s, when Ducati truly got into top gear. During this period, the company was effectively controlled by the Italian government. In the same time it took the British motorcycle industry to serve up an extra cylinder on its bangers and mash parallel twins, Ducati developed its signature dish, a large portion of four-stroke V or L twin with a trademarked desmodromic valve system and an engine that was a stressed member as part of the frame. In 1975, the legendary 750SS and the 860 GT, later to become the 900SS, were born, SS standing for Supersport. Oh yeah! With their look by legendary designer Giorgetti Giugiaro, the man who later brought us a new shape of pasta and the DeLorean, they heralded the folded paper design trend of the late 1970s and early 1980s. Despite the inevitable Italian teething troubles, success on the track led to sales on the street. But by 1978, the Desmo had suffered from the legal privations of the late 70s regarding safety and the environment. Due to perceived demand, Bike Magazine's test bikes importers, Coburn and Hughes of Luton, who specialised in Italian machines and who appear to be long gone these days, had begun importing the 900SS again in original spec, with its massive 40mm Del Auto carbs and deafening Conti silencers. So, what did Bike Magazine make of the machine? In a nutshell, it found the bike's greatest strength was its handling. Whether you're zamming it along a twisty lane or poodling around looking for chicks, you've got control that's so finely tuned and uninhibited by dead weight that all motorcycle designers should be made to ride one. It gushes. Despite making it sound like a poultry farmer's delight, the 900SS was deemed to have a faultless chassis and an easygoing, thundering engine. Our intrepid tester even managed to graze his nuts, his silencer nuts that is, going a little too enthusiastically round the corners, and constantly felt the bike was conspiring to lose his license. A bit like how I felt on my ZZR 1400. The Marzocchi suspension on the back end was deemed underwhelming though, and led to the bike jumping around, especially over the dreaded British potholes.
My Ferrari can't go through here at all, so me and the boys thought we'd come and do it ourselves.
The twin front Brembo disc brakes, cast iron and drilled, were effective even in the worst wet conditions. And shockingly, pun intended, the Italian electrics were judged to be almost acceptable. Despite only putting out 60 bhp, the massive torque from 2000 rpm and the light weight, a mere 440 pounds, meant it was a winner in the corners. A lot of folk would have thought this was a very fast motorcycle indeed, given that bike clocked it at 49.83 miles per hour, with the speedo indicating 60. But a verified speed of 131 miles per hour was achieved in the prone position, so it was no slouch for its day by any means. Definitely a bike for serious riders then. Which probably explains the misty-eyed nostalgia that has inflated the second-hand value of these machines over the years. That and the fact that production stopped in 1981, so there's a very limited supply. Prices for a decent 900SS are currently in the region of £20,000 to £30,000, around 25,000 to 30,000 US dollars. And the amounts being asked for the even rarer 750SS have become especially gut-wrenching, considering the 900SS test bike was listed at £2,299 in 1978, around £12,000 or $16,000 in today's money. You can see why the breadheads have piled in. Ducati, which is now owned by Lamborghini, which is owned by Audi, which is owned by Volkswagen, which makes more sausages than vehicles, part number 199398500A, if you want to look it up in their catalogue, has traded on the Supersport moniker for decades since the 1970s. But somehow, to me at least, the classic SS's from the 1970s look mean, functional, and frankly beautiful, in a way that has never been recaptured. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please consider liking, subscribing, commenting and sharing to let YouTube know we're doing something right here at 3 Phils. Thank you.